Hello students, good morning all of you. Once again a warm welcome to the Computer Networks online session. Today video number 20, which also belongs to the unit number 3. Actually we plan to complete unit number 3 in the end of last week, but due to the postpone of mid we slowly moving in the unit number 3. So I think you guys all know about unit number 3, which is nothing but a data link layer. Okay, in the past videos we covered these topics. So as usual, before going to start the session, just we recall what we have discussed in the past session. In the past week we completed different topics in the unit number 3, which are service provided to the data link layer, framing, error control, flow control, error detection and correction techniques, and as well as we are discussed some simplex protocols related to the data link layer. Now in this video we will discuss the very important concept in the unit number 3, that is sliding window protocol. So all these topics we have already covered in the past videos. So Hamming codes, yeah, right. So protocols. So just we recall what we discussed, in the past session. So in the protocols of data link layer, so there are two channels are there. One is noiseless channel, second one is noisy channel. For the noiseless channel, we are using simplex protocol and as well as stop and wait protocol. And for noisy channel, we are using stop and wait ARQ protocol and go back NARQ and select to repeat ARQ protocols. Right. So simplex protocol, where we have to be using the simplex protocol is if it is one dimensional, that is a unidirectional data transmission has to be done, where we have to be using in the simplex protocol. For example, a sender wants to transmit data frames to the receiver, so one way transmission. So for example, you have to observe this diagram. Sender sends a frame and receiver receives that frame. Only one way transmission is done in the simplex protocol. There we have to be using simplex protocol, and there is some drawbacks are there in the simplex protocol. To overcome that, we are using a stop and wait protocol. So in the stop and wait protocol, so whenever the frame reaches to the receiver, receiver sends an acknowledgement message to the sender. So after receiving the acknowledgement, only the sender sends the second frame to the receiver. So that is called the stop and wait protocol. So the sender waits until he receives the acknowledgement message from the receiver. Otherwise, he won't send the second frame. That means the next frame to the receiver. For example, there are 4 frames has to send by the sender to the receiver. If frame one is sent by sender to the sender, that is received by the receiver. If after receiving the frame 1, the receiver sends acknowledgement 1 to the sender. So whenever the acknowledgement 1 received by the sender, then only he sends the second frame, which will be done until the end of the total 4 frames. So that is the stop and wait protocol. And next one is the simplex protocol for noisy channel. What we have to discuss up to now, what are the noiseless channels. So there is no disturbances whenever we have to be sending the data frames to the one location to the another location. But here in the noisy channel, in between there are a packet loss, packet drop. So something damage will be happened, some loss will be happened for the particular data packet. It may be happened either for data packet or for the acknowledgement packet. So here we have to be using the simplex protocol for noisy channel. If you observe this example, the sender sends a data packet to the receiver. So packet reaches to the destination. So now the receiver sends acknowledgement message. In between, it is dropped. So sender doesn't know if the packet is reached to the receiver or not. For that way, the sender again resends that particular packet. So that is the dropping of acknowledgement. In the second example, here you have to observe. So whenever the sender transmits a data packet to the receiver, the packet is dropped in between the sender and receiver. So receiver doesn't send the acknowledgement. So the sender waits for some time and again resends the data packet to the receiver. That is the simplex protocol for noisy channel. This is the best example. I think you hope you guys all are understand the past video. There we discussed these protocols: stop and wait for last frame and stop and wait for last acknowledgement frame. Right. So flow diagram for a stop and wait protocol. So all we are all discussed these topics in the past video. Now move on to the one of the very important concept there in the data link layer, that is sliding window protocols. So sliding window protocols. So up to now, what we have to be discussed in the simplex protocol and simplex stop and wait protocol for both noisy channel and noiseless channel. There only one way unidirectional transmission or half duplex transmission is possible. So unidirectional means only sender sends the data packets and receiver receives the data packets, and half duplex data transmission means after sender sends the data packet and receiver using same channel for to transmit the acknowledgement. So only one channel is using for both sending the data packet and as well as receiving acknowledgement. That is the point what we have to be discussed in the previous topic. So in the simplex stop and wait protocols, so one channel is using for both the data frame transmission and as well as acknowledgement receiving purpose. But here in the sliding window protocol, there the full duplex approach is used. The full duplex approach. That means here two channels we have to be using. One channel for data and the reverse channel for acknowledgement. So there we are using two channels. One is the forward channel, which is using for the data transmission, and the second one is the reverse channel, which is using for the acknowledgement accessing purpose. So one is using for data transmission purpose, that is called it as forward channel, and second one is using to access the acknowledgement from the receiver to the sender, that is called a reverse channel. But the problem here in the full duplex mode is whatever the channel we are using for reverse transmission, the reverse channel, the bandwidth is wasted. Why? Because just only for the purpose of acknowledgement we are using that much of bandwidth, which will be difficult for which will be very much difficult. Why? Because there the total bandwidth is wasted. If the bandwidth is using for the purpose of forward channel, that will be good. Why? Because in the forward channel we are transmitting the data packets, but in the reverse channel just we are using for the purpose of acknowledgement purpose only. So the bandwidth is wasted here in the reverse channel, and as well as it consisting of some cost when compared with simplex protocol. So these are the two problems occurred here if we have to be using full duplex approach for data frame transmission. One is reverse channel bandwidth is wasted, and second problem is cost. So straightly move on to the data frame transmission. Here one channel, so data frame and acknowledgement is combined together and using a same channel. In full duplex approach, same circuit for both directions. So in full duplex approach, please note it, this is a very important point here. Same circuit for both directions and data and acknowledgement are intermixed. So here in the full duplex mode, so data and as well as acknowledgement are intermixed. So what we have to be discussed previously, there in the simplex protocol mode. So after the transmission of data frame, next the acknowledgement is back by using the same channel. But here in the full duplex mode in the sliding window protocols, the data frame along with the acknowledgement, so data and acknowledgements are intermixed together and traveled via the same channel. How do we tell the acknowledgement from the data frame and the kind field telling the data of acknowledgement, and it can be improved? So the third approach is, this one is the first approach. So here in the first approach we are using so the unidirectional assumption in previous elementary protocols are not general. Now this is the approach one. Here in the approach in the full duplex channel, so one forward channel and one reverse channel is using. This is the second approach. Here in the second approach, same circuit for both directions. Same circuit for both directions. So data frame along with the acknowledgement, both are intermixed together and traveled in the same path. That is the second approach. And the third approach is attaching acknowledgement to outgoing data frames. That is called it as piggy banking. So note it down. This one is also very much important in online bits aspect also. So piggy banking. So what is meant by piggy banking? That what we have to be discussed in the next slide. So there are total three approaches are there. Approach one is, so two different channels we have to be using. One is forward channel, second one is reverse channel, and the second approach is here the data frame along with the acknowledgement, both are intermixed together and traveled, and the same circuit for both directions are using. That is the second approach. And the third approach is attaching acknowledgements to outgoing data frames. Attaching acknowledgements to outgoing data frames, which is called it as piggy banking. So what is meant by piggy banking? So a piggy banking is nothing but a temporarily delaying transmission of outgoing acknowledgements so that they can be hooked onto the next outgoing data frame. So whenever we are transmitting the data frame, so after it reaches to the destination, whatever the outgoing data frames are there, so the outgoing data frames along with the acknowledgement, so that they can be hooked onto the next outgoing data frame. So the advantage is higher channel bandwidth utilization. Why? Because whenever we have to be adding acknowledgement to the outgoing, automatically the bandwidth is saved. So the higher channel bandwidth is utilized, and the complication is how long to wait for a packet to piggy bank. So how long a packet will wait for a piggy bank? So how much time it will spend in the piggy bank area? So why? Because whenever the outgoing frame is ready, then only we have to transmit acknowledgement. So here in the second approach of full duplex, so we are adding acknowledgement along with the data frame, along with the data frame when the time of sending and when the time of receiving. But here in the piggy banking, when we have to be adding the acknowledgement when only outgoing acknowledgement, when only delaying transmission of outgoing acknowledgement, so that how long it has to be wait for a packet of piggy banking. That is one of the very difficult complication in the piggy banking scheme. If longer than sender timeout period, then the sender retransmit. That is one of the disadvantage or one of the complication. If it spends more time in the piggy bank, the packet spends more time in the piggy bank, the sender doesn't know about the that particular data packet. He again retransmits the data packet. So that is another complication in the piggy banking scheme. The purpose of acknowledgement is lost. So whatever the purpose we are creating this scheme, which is lost. So these are the two complications in the piggy bank, but the advantage is higher bandwidth is utilized. Higher bandwidth is utilized, that is the advantage, and the disadvantages are we don't know how much of time the data packet has to be spent in the piggy bank, and as well as if it spent more time in the piggy bank, sender doesn't know about that particular time period, and again he retransmits the data packet. That is one of the disadvantages by using the piggy bank scheme. So now the solution for timing complex. So what is the solution for this timing complex is, if a new packet is arrives quickly, the piggy banking, if new packet arrives after a receiving acknowledgement timeout, there are two complications are there. If new packet arrives quickly, that is piggy banking. If new packet arrives after a receiver acknowledgement timeout, sending a separate acknowledgement frame. If you observe this diagram, you can easily identify. So now sliding window protocols. The next three protocols are bidirectional protocols. So whatever the protocols we have to be discussed up to right now are the unidirectional protocols. So unidirectional means unidirectional or half transmission protocols. So one-way transmission in one first, what we have to be discussed in the first protocol, that is the only purely unidirectional. That is sender always sends the data packet and receiver always receives the data packet. The second approach, what we have to be discussed, that is stop and wait protocol, is after sender sends the data packet, the receiver sends an acknowledgement by using the same data path, But here the next three protocols what we have to discuss are the bidirectional protocols that belongs to a class called sliding window protocols. So I think you guys understand what is meant by sliding window protocol. Sliding window protocol means the bidirectional protocols that belongs to class sliding window protocols. If unidirectional or half duplex, that is called the simplex protocol or stop and wait protocols, what we have to be discussed in the previous video on the previous slides. Now the sliding window protocol is nothing but the bidirectional protocol is calling as the sliding window protocol. There are three protocols we have to be discussed here. First one is 1-bit sliding window protocol, 1,1, and go back n, and third one is the selective repeat. So 1-bit sliding protocol 1,1, and second one is go back n, that means greater than 1,1, and third one is selective repeat protocol, greater than 1, greater than 1. The three differ among themselves in terms of efficiency, complexity, and buffer requirements. Each outbound frame contains an n-bit sequence numbers. So these are the three sliding window protocol methods: 1-bit sliding window protocol, go back and n sliding window protocol, and third one is the selective repeat protocol. 1-bit sliding window protocol, and the second one is the go back n protocol, and third one is the selective repeat protocol. The three differ among themselves in terms of efficiency, complexity, and buffer requirement. So these three are the major differs when compared with these three protocols. So efficiency, complexity, and buffer requirement. Based on three, we can detect these three protocols: one bit sliding window protocol and go back n protocol and selective repeat protocol. Each outbound frame contains an n bit sequence number, that is the range 0 to maximum sequence of 2 power n minus 1. So each outbound frame contains an n bit sequence number. The range is 0 to 2 power n minus 1. For stop and wait protocol, n is equals to 1 and restricting the sequence number to 0 and 1 only. So for the stop and wait, n is equals to 1 and it restricts the sequence number to 0 and 1 only. So, and the sending and receiving of windows. At any instance of time, the sender maintains a set of sequence numbers of frames permitted to send. So these frames fall within sending window and the receiver maintains a set of sequence numbers of frames permitted to accept. These frames fall within receiver window. So the sender maintains a set of sequence numbers. These are sending window. And the receiver maintains a set of sequence numbers which are permitted to accept. So the sender maintain a, so please note down this point. So how the sending and receiving windows are running. The sender maintains a set of sequence numbers of frames which are permitted to send. These frames fall within sender side window, and as well as the receiver maintains a set of sequence numbers of frames and permitted to accept. These frames fall within receiving window. For sending purpose, the sender maintains some sequence of numbers, and for receiving purpose, the receiver maintains a set of sequence numbers. So lower limit, upper limit, and the size of two windows need not be the same, fixed or variable size. The sender window contains the frames can be sent or have been sent by the not acknowledgement. So the outstanding frames, though these frames are called it as the outstanding frames. When a packet arrives from network layer, the next highest sequence number assigned. For example, the upper edge of window advanced by 1. When the acknowledgement arrives, the lower edge of window advanced by 1. So whenever it has to be arrives from network layer, so the upper edge of window advanced by 1 as well as the lower edge of window advanced by 1. If the maximum window size is n, the sender needs n buffers to hold the acknowledgement frames. I think you guys understand this topic by observing the lecture notes right now. So the sender sliding window. The sender sliding window at the sending side to hold the outstanding frames until they are acknowledged. So we use the concept of window here. So this is the before sending. This one is after sending. So window size is 7 here. The window size is, so at the sending side to hold the outstanding frame until they are acknowledged, we use the concept of a window here. So here the window size is 7. So you can observe this example here. The window size is 7. So this is the before sending, before sliding. The size of the window is at most 2 power m minus 1, where m is the number of bits for the sequence number. So where m is the number of bits for the sequence number. So size of the window can be variable. For example, TCP, the window slides to be include new unsent frames when the correct acknowledgements are received. So you can observe this. So window size is 7. Now after sliding, so after sliding of 2 frames, so this one is the complete. So frame size 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Total 12 frames here. The window size is 7. So this one is these are the 7 frames. So after sliding to 2 frames, now same size. Window size is 7. It is sliding to 2 frames. So 0 and 1 are left, and 7 and 0 added. So now to the receiver side. So this one is sender side. Now the moving to the receiver side. So the size of the window at the receiving side is always 1 in this protocol, and receiver is always looking for a specific frame to arrive in the specific order. Any frame arriving out of order is discarded and needs to be resent, and receiver window slides are shown in the figure. So if you observe this diagram, the before sliding, so 0, 1 bit. So here the just 1 bit sliding. So after sliding, the starting bit is 1. So receiver is waiting for a frame 0 in a part A. So these are the control variables. So control variables. The sender has 3 variables: S, SF, and SL. The S holds the sequence number of recently sent frame, and SF holds the sequence number of the first frame, and SL holds the sequence number of the last frame. And the receiver only has the one variable, that is R, that holds the sequence number. So you can observe this diagram, the center window and the receiver window. So frame acknowledgement, frame waiting to be sent, frame waiting to be sent. Here in the receiver side, frames received and acknowledgement, frame received and acknowledgement. So here the sender has three variables, S, SF and SL. S holds the sequence number of recently sent frame. S holds the sequence number of recently sent frame, and SF holds the sequence number of first frame, and SL holds the sequence number of last frame. So please note it down this. S holds the sequence number of recently sent frame, SF holds the sequence number of first frame, and SL holds the sequence number of the last frame. But the receiver only has the one variable, that is R. So in center side there are three variables, S, SF and SL. S holds the recently sent frame, SF holds the first frame, and SL holds the last frame. But the receiver side only one variable, that is R. So the R holds the sequence number of frame it expects to receive. If the sequence number is the same as the value of R, the frame is accepted, otherwise the frame is rejected. So these are the S, SF, SL. S means recently sent frame, SF means the first frame, SL means last frame. Here the 0 is the recent frame as well as first frame, and 2 is the last frame. But coming to the receiver side, 0 is R. That means frames received and acknowledged, frames that cannot be accepted, so it will be accepted. So frames that cannot be accepted. So why it cannot be accepted? The receiver has only the one variable R. If the frame number of the frame it expects to receive, if the sequence number is the same as the value of R, the frame is accepted, otherwise the frame is rejected. Here the last sent frame is 2, but here the R is 0, so that's why the frame is rejected. Here this is the receiver window. So this is the example. You can observe this, you can easily identify what happened, what we have to be discussed in that topic. So this is the frame size. So destination system. So 0, 1, 2, 3 and so on. 7, 8. Again 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 0, 1, 2, 3. So 7. Frame size is 7. Now 1 bit slide. So F3, F2, and again retransmit. So example of the slide. This is the example for sliding window protocol. How the window is slided. Right? This is the 1-bit sliding window protocol. So a sliding window of size 1 with a 3-bit sequence numbers. So a sliding window of size 1 with a 3-bit sequence number. This is the sender side, this is the receiver side. So A is initially and B after the first frame has been sent. So A is initially and B is after first frame has sent, and C is after the first frame has been received, and C is after first frame has received, and D is after the first acknowledgement has been arrived. So first initial, next after the first frame has been sent, and next one after the first frame has been received, and next after the receiving what happened, an acknowledgement is back. First initialization, next first frame has been sent, now first frame has been received, next an acknowledgement is back from the receiver side to the sender side. That one is the fourth one. So initial, first frame has been sent, after the first frame has been received by the receiver, next the receiver sends acknowledgement, first acknowledgement to the sender. So this one is very important diagram in the sliding window protocol. Please note it down this and make practice on this, right guys? Please note it down this and make practice. This one is very important in the sliding window protocol, right? So here the example. So what we have to be discussed in the first initial, after frame sent, after frame received by the receiver, next acknowledgement by the receiver. That what exactly here the example shows. So here the A sends 0, 1, A0. Now B gets 0, 1, A0. Now B sends 0, 0, B0. So A gets 0, 0, B0. So again A sends 1, 0, A1. So B gets 1, 0, A1. Now B sends 1 1 B1. So A gets 1 1 B1 and then A sends 0 1 A2. So where here the acknowledgement? So where here we have to be placing the acknowledgement, that what we have to be discussed in the sliding window protocol. There are multiple. So here we already discussed it here. So there are different approaches are there. So in the approach 2, we already discussed that along with the data, an acknowledgement is added to the data frame, and that particular data frame is back to the sender and as well as receiver side. So the along with the data frame, acknowledgement is added in the same data packet. So for that's why. So this is the example. A sends 1 1 B1. So B gets A sends 01 A2, B gets 01 A2. Now B sends 00 B2 and A gets 00 B2. A sends 10 A3, B gets 10 A3. This one is one example. So here A sends 01 A0. So B gets that. Before that B sends 01 B0. Now A gets 01 B0. A sends 00 A0. B sends 00 B0. So in the case one is the normal. This one is the normal case. The second one is the abnormal case. Second one is the abnormal case. The notation is sequence, acknowledgement, and along with the packet number. First one is the sequence number. Second one is acknowledgement number. Third one is packet number. So 0, sequence number. 1, acknowledgement number. A0, packet number. Now 0, sequence number. 1, acknowledgement number. A0, packet number. Right, received. Now B sends 0 is the sequence number, 0 is the acknowledgement number, and B0 is the packet number. This acknowledgement is for this particular frame. So this acknowledgement is for this particular frame. For that purpose, here we are adding 0 acknowledgement. Now 00 B0 is received by A. Now A sends 10 A1. That means 1 is the sequence number, 0 is the acknowledgement what it gets from the B. So whatever the A gets from the B, so that is the 0 is the acknowledgement. So and after risk indicates where a network layer accepts a data packets. So this is the one bit sliding window protocol. Case 1, there is no error. 01 A0, 00 B0. So what we have to be discussed here, this is the diagrammatical representation. So please note it down, this sequence, acknowledgement, and packet number. Sequence, acknowledgement, and packet number. Same sequence, acknowledgement, and packet number. So that is explained here in the example. So case 3, data error. Case 4, acknowledgement lost. And case 5, early timeout. And case 6, outgoing frame timeout. So the performance of these stop and wait protocols. So we will discuss these performance of stop and wait protocols by using the pipeline in the coming video now. So what we have to be discussed in this video is completely about the sliding window protocol. One bit sliding window protocol. In the sliding window protocol means here the bi-directional channel we have to be using in the sliding window protocol. In the one bit sliding window protocol, so this is the one bit sliding window protocol. So this one is initial. After this is only the diagrammatical representation. After the first frame has been sent, after the first frame has been received, and after the first acknowledgement has been received. So this is an example for the one bit sliding window protocol, and there are different cases. Case 1, there is no error, and case 2, data lost. I think you guys easily understand this example. Why? Because we already discussed what happened there in the frame loss and the acknowledgement loss in the previous example of stop and wait protocols. Right? Second one is data lost, and third one is data error, and fourth one is acknowledgement lost, and fifth one is early timeout, and sixth one is outgoing frame timeout. So you can go through with the material what I am giving to you in the Google Classroom. So you go through with that study material, then you can easily understand these sliding window protocols. So thank you very much.